How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to teach you Medicine by Tiny Moving Parts off of their most recent record, Breathe. I'll be playing through my Dean Saltero, through my Dan Electro Honeytone amp, because it's the only one I have right now. So let's start with the tuning for this song. The tuning is D, A, D, G, B, E. And then there's a capo on the 6th fret. Alright, so let's start with the intro. The intro goes something like this. Alright, so for the first part, I'll refer to all the tabs as normal, as if the capo weren't on. So keep that in mind throughout. So we start with the 5th string on the 9th fret, and then we go open on the 4th string, which is a 6 because of the capo. And then on the 3rd string, you're on the 8th fret, and then you pull off of that onto the 6th. So, and then back down to the 4th string. And then you move to the next position, which is 11 on the 5th, open on the 4th string, and then that's a 10 and open or 6 on the 3rd string. So it goes like this. So the difference between the two positions is one of them's a pull off, and then one of them's a picked. And then on the second time, you go to the higher position. Instead of a, it's a, which is just a bend and then a pull off. So the next part is you start on the 5th string at the 13th fret, and then you go all the way to the 2nd string on the 13th fret as well. And then you hammer onto the 14th on there. So, and then you go right to the 1st string on the 13th fret. And then when you're on the 1st string, 13th fret, you slide up to the 16th, and then pull off, and then go to the 2nd string at 14, and then pull off as well. So all together, and then you go to the tapping part after that, which is just bouncing between two notes. The first one, use your left hand on 16 on the 5th string, and then your right hand, you use 21 on the 2nd string, and you just bounce between the two. So altogether, that top part sounds like, and then the cycle just starts over, and that's the verse and the intro. So it's a little tricky going from the tapping part back down to the, but you just gotta practice it and get used to it, and it's not that bad. So the whole intro verse part, slow, sounds like this. Nope, missed the first one. But yeah, that's basically it. And then it goes to the pre-chorus. So next we're going to learn the pre-chorus, and that's just some strummed chords, and he uses a tremolo pedal. I don't have any pedals with me right now, but we're just going to go through it with the chords. So it goes something like this. So the first chord in that is just, which is open on the 6th, 9 on the 5th, and 8 on the 4th. So, and then that moves up a full step, so you're at 14 and, or sorry, you're at 11 and 10 on the 5th and 4th. This one's a little different. It's open, 13, and 11, so it's a full step between. And then it goes up to 16 and 15 on the 5th and the 6th. And every time you got the open 6th. And then the last one is goes back down to the 11 and 10. And then those 3 chords there, he does like the, so it's kind of like an upstroke. And that's just 8 and 8 on the 6th and 5th, and then 10 on the 4th. So, and I'm not really sure which chord he plays the second one. I couldn't really figure it out. It's either or. That one probably sounds more correct, but either way, it's 10 and 10 on the 6th and 5th, and then the 3rd finger is either 11 or 12. I can't really tell, so that one probably sounds right. So I'd go with the 11. And then the last chord is 11, 11 on the 6 and 5, and on the 4 you're at 15. And then you go to the chorus, and I'm just going to show you the lead part, because that's the only part that I figured out so far. So to the chorus, it's basically kind of a lead part, and what he does is he's on the 1st and 2nd string. On the 1st string, 16, and on the 2nd string, 14. So it just goes... So that is, like I said, 16 and 14, just bouncing back and forth. And then it goes 13 on the 1st, and then hammer on and off of the 14th. And that's just the 14 on the 2nd string. And then you do a slide from the 14 to the 16 and back. On the 2nd string. And then you still keep your index on the 13th on the 1st string, and then just go on the end to play them both together. So the whole thing is... And then that kind of just repeats, so it's... And then he does that little part and then goes back to the... But that little part right there is a 10 and 11 on the 3rd string, and you kind of mute the 1 and 2 and the bottom ones too. It's kind of just the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. So it goes 10, 11, open, 2, and then back to the... So... So then coming off of the chorus where it goes transitions back into the verse, you kind of have the same... It's the same kind of note structure, it just sounds a little bit different. So instead of... You have... So basically all that is 11, 10, open, and then 8. to 10, and then you slide to 13, and then slide back down to 8. So all together it sounds. And then he lets that chord strum before it goes to. And that chord again is kind of the same chord we've been using, where it's just 9, 8, and then open, open. I mute the 6th on this one. And then it goes back to the verse and the chorus, and the only difference there is there's no tremolo transition piece from the end of the verse to the chorus. So the end of the second verse to the second chorus, it kind of pauses, and then he just goes to, and the piano part comes in, and then he goes back to the chorus. And really all that is the same notes as the chorus. You're at 16 on the first and 14 at the second. Just bouncing back and forth. And then there's a pause, and then it goes back to the chorus. Alright, so the only part we're missing now is the little tapping bridge in the center. So we're going to go to that. Alright, so slowly this is how the bridge goes. Alright, so the first chord is the same chord that we've been on. That's 9 and 8 on the 5 and 4. And then the first tapping section, so it's just 6 notes, and it's kind of the same pattern, you just move the position. So, first note is you're on the 14 of the second. So, hammer on, pull off to open. And that's 9 and 10. That's all in the second string. And then the next one is on 13 of the third string. So it's 13, pull off, 10, or 8 and 10. So 13, 8, 10. So all together. So down here on your left hand, you got a half step and then a full step. And then on your right hand, it just goes from 14 to 13. And then the next chord progression is, it's like a C. So you have, on the 5th string, you have 11, 10 on the 4th. You skip a string, and then you play 9 on the 2nd. So he does the... So that's just, the only thing that changes here is your index on the 9th here goes from 9 to 11 back to 9. And then moves that same position up to 16. So on the 5th string, you're at 16. Then you're at 15 on the 4th. You skip the 3rd. And on the 2nd, you're on 14. So it goes like this. So then the next chord before the tapping, the second tapping part is just, which is 11 at the 6th string, and then your index plays 9 at the 2nd string, and that's it. You're muting like the 5th and maybe the 4th, but leaving the other ones open. And then comes the next tapping section, which is just... So I'm on the 4th and the 3rd string. My right hand is at 18 on both. And then my left hand is on, that's 10 and 11 on the 3rd there. So it goes 18, pull off, 10, 11. And then 18 on the 3rd, pull off. And then that's 8 and 10. So it goes. So then the next part after that is just the... So after this tapping part, it goes... So it's the same chord as we played earlier in the song, where it's just... You're on 8, 8, 8 on the 6th, 5th, and 4th, and on the 3rd string, you're on 10. Then the harmonics are on, instead of 12, it's on 13 here. And then it repeats that whole thing. So I'm going to play the whole thing slow for you, so you can kind of hear how all that goes together. It's definitely the most difficult part of the song, but here we go. So he plays that a couple times, I'm not sure how long, but then he ends on that first chord we played at this beginning of the section, and then up to the second position again. So again, to remind you, we're just at 9 and 8, and mute in the 6th string, 9 and 8 in the 5th and 4th, and then 11 and 10 on the 5th and the 4th. And then it goes back to the verse, and then it goes back to one more chorus, and then it ends. So that's Medicine by Tiny Moving Parts. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helped you to learn the song. Leave some feedback in the comments to tell me if it helps you or not, and what songs you'd like to hear next time. I'm going to try to start doing some more of these lessons, because they're fun for me, and I hope they help you guys out. So watch out for some more videos, and take care. We'll see you soon.
I can't spend another weekend at a funeral.